Good morning, my dear students. How are you all doing? I believe you're all doing well. So we are back again to Pedagogical Content Knowledge in Biology. This is Unit 4, Session 1. And Unit 4, we are going to discuss the various forms of assessment. What goes into assessment? And under Session 1 of this unit, we are going to talk about developing assessment procedure. Developing assessment procedure. So these are the objectives for the lesson. So objective 1, you'll be able to develop assessment procedure. And then objective 2, I'm saying you explain the criterion reference test. So I first speak on major assessment. Now, when a teacher completes a major assessment, example, end of term examination, the resulting set of scores in the raw form usually tells little about the trends or patterns of performance in the test. So you students, for instance, when you write your exams and the results is given to the chief examiner, the chief examiner is able to tell the trends or the patterns of performance of you, the students. So we are saying that a student would like to know how well he or she has done the test. For instance, when you give a score of 54 to a student on a test, it does not tell anything meaningful regarding how well she has performed in relation to a criterion or a group norm. So is a 54 high score or low score within the overall group performance? So you, the teacher, you would like to know how many students score high or low marks and use the information to describe the distribution of scores of the group. But mere listening of the scores does not give any useful picture of an individual's relative standing or the group trend. So the teacher, you need to attempt to describe and summarize the set of data in a meaningful and a usable form to show the trends or patterns, and then you provide interpretations of performance of individuals and or the group. So if you have a score, if a student wants to know the true performance, if the student score 54, it doesn't mean that he performed low or high, but then it depends on the scores available. It could be that the 54 is the second highest marks obtained among the students. So you have to get the data, the scores, and then you can say that, okay, the students perform better than these. You can do a simple statistics. You find the mean, the median, simple statistics, inferential statistics, very simple one, and then you can do that. Now, you look at developing assessment. Developing assessment. In developing assessment procedures, select specific objectives in such a way that you will be able to assess a representative sample of the syllabus objectives. So when you are developing an assessment procedure, you select an objective which you are going to set your questions around or which you want students to achieve. So each specific objective in the syllabus is considered a criterion to be achieved by the student. So in the syllabus, we have specific objectives. So if you set questions around these objectives, it is going to inform the students that after going through the test, and this is your performance, you are able to achieve objective C, objective A, objective D, and was not able to achieve objective Z, K, and all that. So anytime you are developing an assessment form, you set the questions around the specific objectives. So when you develop a test that consists of items or questions that are based on a representative sample of the specific objective taught, the test is referred to as a criterion reference test. So because the test is based on the specific objectives, so that is the criterion, that is the reference point. The specific objective is the reference point. So if students write or sit for the test and then they were able to achieve certain objectives, then you make a reference that, okay, student A was able to achieve objective B, C, D, and that. Student B was able to achieve objective Z kill Y. So the objective you set, the questions you set around a specific objectives is a criterion reference test. Now, examination papers. Examination papers. Now, in table 1 in the session 2, you look at session 2. When we go there, I'll talk more about that. It shows examination consisting of 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, and continuous assessment. The exams you write in school consist of three things: paper 1, paper 2, and then continuous assessment. Paper 1 consists of section A and B lasting 2.5 hours. Section A consists of multiple choice objectives lasting 1 hour. Section B consists of essay questions, essentially testing application of knowledge, but also consisting of some questions on knowledge and understanding. That is section B. And paper 2 is practical test lasting 2 hours. Continuous assessment, that is the exercises and all that was conducted during your teaching. So I'm saying that the distribution of marks for the objective test items, essay type questions, and the practical questions in the 2 papers and in the continuous assessment should be in line with the weight of the profile dimensions already indicated. So the profile dimensions, as we've learned earlier on, we've allotted some percentages that the questions should cover. We have the application of knowledge. That one is a profile dimension. We allotted some percentages that the questions should cover. If your questions you set does not fall within those percentage, it means that you are not following the profile dimensions. So you have to follow what the profile dimension is saying. You have to follow what the profile dimension is saying. You don't do anything otherwise, because when you do that, you are not a good teacher. You have to follow what the profile dimension is saying. Like I said, the knowledge and comprehension should form 30% of your assessment. So the questions which falls under knowledge and comprehension should be 30%. Application of knowledge should be 40% in your questions. Practical and experimental skills should be 30% in your questions. So these are the percentage allotted for the examination. For the profile dimensions. So you use this percentage to set your questions. So we've learned a lot in this session. So I want you to review this session. So in reviewing this session, I asked you students these questions. We've learned examination papers, developing assessment, and then major assessment. So question number 1, explain why the teacher would like to describe and summarize the set of data to show the trends and patterns, and then to provide interpretations of performance of each student. Why? Why would the teacher like to do that? And then what is criterion reference test? So my dear students, you find answers to these questions. You can discuss the questions on any available e-learning platform. It could be Zoom or Google Meet, and then you find answers to these questions.